think
my
there's balance between the hard work and the networking. Like if you put it in YouTube terms, hard work, spitting that information out or getting ready for interviews and stuff, but you have to do the networking.
True.
My channel did nothing for a year, and then in the last 6 weeks, I started networking, and I have grown 550 people.
Yeah, I think I was looking at maybe a week or so ago. I was watching one of your videos, and I was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to take a look at." I'm trying to think of the application. It'll come. Social Blade. Are you familiar with socialblade.com? Oh, Paula, you must know.
That tells you the analytics of how much you make in a month.
You go to socialblade.com, and we can do it now. But socialblade.com, then put in your YouTube channel, as a for instance, and it'll show you how many views. You were like, over the last 3 months, you have blown up, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? For me, what changed was I started doing live streams.
Yeah, it does help.
Because I'm a terrible editor, but man, I can talk.
But let me tell you something.
You're a good talker.
Let me tell you something that you got going for you. First of all, you're a beautiful woman. Second of all, you're not shy to cam up, and that's the trick. I used to tell my people, the guests that would come up, I said, you got to show your face. Overcome that fear. Recently mentioned that, I gained 150 subscribers. You're going to gain more for the fact that you're not shy to cam up. But you're going to have to take them on to where they come without a camera, and you got to say to them, you got to show me your face. If they don't show your face, don't bring them on. Why? Because sometimes they'll porn you out. They'll put porn, and then you got to delete the video.
They what?
They'll porn you. They'll put a porn video up there.
I don't have any porn videos. You can get a
strike for that. On YouTube, you get 3 strikes. They terminate your channel. I was terminated twice. I used to have.
I don't get it. They're gonna say that I was in a porn. Like, I don't get it. I haven't been in any. So how?
In other words, when you put your live stream Earl on a side chat, it's like it's an open door for trolls to come up and click on.
When somebody puts a chat, people who have like big channels, let's say whoever anyway, but they put you have a lot of people in there, and they start putting links in. You can have it so that as a moderator, you don't let people put in links unless they happen to be a moderator, if you don't want to, because if somebody's spamming you, and the worst type of spam would be something like pornographic websites. And so the point that Drower is saying is that you got to be careful if you see that some of these links that are out there are not going to, they're unsavory sites, we shall say. And it might be firearms or who knows what, drugs or whatever is going on.
Well, the only people that can drop links are my moderators, though, right?
Yeah, you can have your moderator. They can go ahead and delete that. They can delete those links. So when
but it's not just the link, Michael. They'll put an avatar, and you think you'll know them, or they'll make a copy of my name or whatever. So you got to ask them to come up and show their face in a backstage. And what they do is they put an avatar. So you're saying, okay, let me just roll with the dice. And then they have a video on the avatar. They take off the avatar and they show you a screen of nudity.
So I guess we have to be where we don't grow too fast, where we have some discernment in times of the you want quality and not quantity, I guess is what I'm saying. So just have a little bit of discretion, kind of look through it afterwards, if the links kind of seem like they're okay, but you might do some just random sampling. But if you've got some moderators, say, hey mods, if you could, when you see some links up there, could you help out and just make sure? And if they look like a bad one, in there.
No, I was under the impression that you could only drop a link if you were a moderator.
That's right.
So only on people like the
they didn't have wrenches. Back in the day, they didn't have wrenches and all that. My personal opinion, and it's only my personal opinion, if you know the person and they're really loyal to you, then you can give them a moderator. But what some people do, that they make the mistake, is they give everybody new, whether they're a troll, to make them feel comfortable so they won't be deleted. they give them a wrench, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you get vibes. If you can take a look and see, has someone been around for 4 or 5 years? Are they an okay person? And but just kind of on this topic is that, I don't know, how can I say this, but sometimes have something that's salacious if you want to grow. It's not the way what I would want my brand is to have things that, like clickbait would be obvious one, but
Yeah.
maybe something that we start talking about politics or religion or things like that. You're going to get some really strong conversations, and you get a lot of people come in, but it's going to be an adversarial relationship before you know it, and nobody's going to win. And
okay, I got another question. This is all really good for me. I appreciate your time, you guys, and everybody in the chat that's contributing. It's valuable to me. What about when I have the live stream go onto my channel after it's done? Should I have it set so it doesn't show the chat?
I'm going to tell you what some of the professionals do. I mean, the people have hundreds of thousands to the millions. And they will say is that, for this type of conversation, that it isn't really content. It's more contextual. It's more the discussions. It's kind of expositional. Like if you're doing an interview, you could just have it where it's just kind of general talk. And, it's always good to have a certain amount of intimacy and vulnerability, because that works. But a lot of people also want some content. So like some of the videos that we've had that have been most successful, it's been where they're how-to, like replacing a microwave oven or things like that. So, what's your brand and how much of that you want to be. But these people who are the experts in it, and I don't think I'm not talking about people that are 1,000 views or subscribers. What they'll do is they'll say, put that up there and let that be a magnet. Have it be where they'll come. They get to do the KLT. They'll know, like, and trust you. They'll subscribe, and then they'll start going through your libraries and your playlist and binging, and better yet, they'll recommend you to others. There's nothing better than getting a recommendation. Now, they will say, no, once you get the video finished, like you're saying, Dory, they'll just like, that's it. It goes away, because they say, and I don't think for us this is the case, but for them, where you're getting tens or hundreds of thousands of views, they'll say, no, in something like this, there's no content. And people, like, when they watch it after the fact, they'll go, tut, 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 and they'll say, okay, I watched 3 things, I'm going away. And YouTube's algorithm will say, oh, what was the watch time? Oh, we had the clicks, but the watch time only person was there for like a minute or two. So they will demonetize them, and so far, not demonetize, but most of your views come from suggested videos, right?
Yes.
So they'll say, okay, we won't suggest these videos because a lot of people are just only watching a minute or two and they're going away. So these people that can make a lot on their content videos, they'll take the streaming videos and they'll say, knock them down right after you get through with them. I don't think for us it's that big a deal, but for the people at some point, you should be aware of is you would like the click-through rate. First you get the impressions, then you get the click-through rate, and then ideally you would like to have some watch time, because that's what YouTube about 2 or 3 years ago, they changed the algorithm. It's all about watch time, not clicks.
Yeah.
So once you get to that level, but for right now, I think you want some meat and potatoes, the content. I have another channel that I have all my subscribers on, Bridge Hands. I teach the card game of bridge, but I get thousands of people that subscribe. I also have a membership subscription site and all this good stuff. I leave them up. You'll lose the chat as soon as you edit it. You edit one little bit and trim, all the chats are going. I like the chats to be there.
Okay.
Well, I don't edit them at all, and I don't worry so much about if YouTube thinks, well, some people, they want to watch the whole thing because the content, I guess a lot of people think it's pretty good. So you have to think about, if you think your content's good enough and they're going to stay around, fine. If you think that you're getting most of it rather than your personality and your vulnerability and your humility, if there's mostly they want the content, then you say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't leave them up. Those are the things I believe that you should be thinking about once you make that decision. You need to know what your mission is. And his mission is to try to make the world a better place. I mean, what could be a better mission than that? So in some ways, we should all be trying to do something where it's not just for transactional. In other words, I do a video, I have so much editing, I'm going to get so many dollars. But
Yeah,
something,
no, no,
that's
no.
just a job.
But that's why I'm trying to stay within one group. I mean, I definitely have to slow down my interviews. I mean, I know I've just started with 2 weeks, but doing 10 in 2 weeks is much too much for me. And working full time? No.
I said you feel as you go. Don't take it all in. I don't mean to be negative. If Mother Teresa had a YouTube channel, there'll be trolls on her. So you can't please everybody. You know, the
Yeah.
thing is that with YouTube, I used to have 8-hour hangouts, and that's all they'll give you is 8 hours before you go off live air. And then we'll do
Oh,
another
really?
8. I did 8-hour hangouts, and then you go off air, and you can still keep your people that have the URL, and you can go off air 8 hours. I had people where they fell asleep, and they hosted the hangout, and people would still be on the side chat talking among themselves.
You know Malcolm Gladwell, who that is?
Nope.
He's a professor at Harvard. He's written some books like Tipping Point and some others that are really good for, Nomadic Hippie, I'm sure, has probably read some of his because it's all about marketing so often. And he talks about when something becomes viral, it requires 3 elements. And one of them we could relate to is, where you've got some people are connectors, like Gina. So, some of us may have networks of 5 or 10 or 20. We may be the other type. Another one of the types you need is somebody who's a maven, a subject matter expert, whatever you want to call them. Now, obviously, as well. But you find out, what these niches are, birds of a feather, if you want to call them that. And so, yeah, you get some that, are great in terms of having depth in areas. Like if you had, you want to know about travel gear or if you want to know about video or things like that.
You were talking about trolls.
Yeah.
Try not to mention them very often.
Okay.
And just ignore them if they come in. Let your moderators take care of them. Just ignore them. But you got to be careful, like what they were saying. I think it was Captain Jack, or it could have been meant to be Arvine. One of those channels down in the basement. It was just like these guys were saying. It was just it was a cartoon image of them that somebody brand new, nobody even knew who they were, and it was Captain Jack. Somebody brought him up. The cartoon went away, and it was just a penis. So YouTube could say, 1, 2, 3, you're out of here. Yeah. Michael, you seem pretty knowledgeable about YouTube. I got a question about this stream right here. One thing I've never been able to have answered, and I'm friends with Susan because I was part of the Google Glass team. So They would always, they always flew me out to California to Mountain View to, to test stuff out, and we'd sit at the table. And
that was the early days.
Yeah, it started back in 2012, and we had a Google Glass, or we had a Google X team, and we were developing that for enterprise, and also trying to get what would the general public think about somebody walking around with wearable tech on their head, and we were kind of guinea pigs. But and Susan now is in charge of YouTube. She's like a VP or CEO. I don't. Her and Libby both.
Yeah.
And so and I meant to ask her, and I didn't do it. The chat, even whether you're in StreamYard or whether you're in YouTube app, and the chat during a live stream, does that trigger the algorithm like if you post a regular video and people leave comments?
Yeah, I mean, it does insofar as that, we're familiar with obviously the title and the description. The tags anymore, not so much. I mean, it doesn't hurt to do tags. But if you've got text, though, right? If you've got text over there in the chat, and that triggers a keyword, and it's something that is relevant, and you have enough instances of it. And I'm searching for Superman Megapolis. And look here's a video that's got like 6 instances. What's that? You're going to get a higher incidence that vanvidatravels is going to be like, man, I'm getting all these views. Where are they coming from? And so who was it who said they had a couple 100,000 views?
Thrash metal.
We go see somebody that's like a megastar, and oftentimes it's like we can't put them up on YouTube, or it's going to be you're going to get a strike, or it's just takedown, or they demonetize it. But yeah, she gets a million views, and she doesn't get them to monetize. She doesn't get the credit for it. But if it happens to be somebody like Adele's like really happy that the Grace Nisslers of the world put a video up, and especially if I've got good camera gear and I can do a good job on the video, it's like, yeah, it's like great advertising for her.
As not looking at it in an SEO aspect, but like just in this stream right here, people are leaving comments. It's the video's not posted yet. So like after a video post, like if somebody has a live stream, like after this is over tomorrow, I'll wake up and I'll go to Van Vita's this video and I'll leave an actual comment after a post just to try and push it out in the algorithm a little bit. But I was wondering if this live stream comments work the same as after the video post.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
And also, be cognizant if you've got like us, we watch these, and you've got like a long persistence where people are watching for an hour, and you've got like 30, 50 people, or whatever, that's 30 or 50 hours. Whereas if I've got like a YouTube video and it's 10 minutes and the watch time is like 3 to 5 minutes, half of them normally go about halfway through on most people's channels. Well, yeah, like you're saying there, Paula, you get more people that will hang on for a while. All those hours count. So the hours count.
But even beyond the hours, everybody that's talking, right? Look, if I want to support Nomadic Hippie, he did a live stream earlier. I'm commenting in his chat while the live stream is going. Is that helping his channel?
Sure.
Yeah.
And does it help us when someone comments in a video or the live stream when it's done?
Yeah. It'll push it to the algorithm, and more people will see it. And if you leave a comment, the more comments, the more thumbs up and stuff, YouTube will go, wait a second, some people are watching this. Let's push this out to another group, and they'll push it out to see if they'll watch it. And then it just kind of grows from there. What
is the best length of video to keep your viewers interested? I've been told 8 to 12 minutes. And then someone else said, YouTubers push for over the 10-minute for the third ad break in the middle. What is that? What does that
I don't run that. I don't run the third ad break. I leave that empty. I don't like doing that. I don't want someone to go watch, well, unless it's Superman maybe, but I don't want someone to, like, I'm out here at riding Jurassic Park or something, and in the middle, we're just getting on the ride. Oh, now to watch the ride, you got to wait and watch a 10-second video or a commercial. I don't want that.
Mid-roll and late roll. So, if you have like 9 minutes and 59 seconds, you get 2. YouTube says you can have 2. But when you go like 10 minutes and 1 second, aha, now you can have 3. So my ad revenue is going up by 50%. If you play that game, and I don't think we do, but for those that's important, and saying, well, if I'm spending like 5 hours to plan it and 2 hours to record it and 8 hours to edit it, it's like X number of hours, then damn it, I'm going to make it more than 10 minutes so that I can get that third. And if that's the game they play, I'm not saying game, but I mean, if that's their business model, then that's why they have it just over 10 minutes.
Mine are over that usually because I suck at editing. Remember, I don't know. Remember back when you first started making videos, and you were making hour-long videos because you didn't know how to edit, and you thought everything needed to be in there, and so you'd have, like, I'd go out to Oregon or something, and I'd be doing the waterfalls and showing the volcanoes or something, and I go back, wow, I had 2 hours of content, and I put it together because I didn't know you could cut and put splice it and do the audio separate or do what. I never knew you could do all that. So
I always was under the impression that the length of the video made a difference for how it was promoted by YouTube. I never thought of it as the ad part. Is the ad part the only thing that makes a difference in the length of a video?
I mean, obviously, if you have, let's say that I never have AdSense. My business model, I don't really give a flip about AdSense. And my bridge hands, no, I've never been interested in AdSense dollars. That's not how I monetize it. It's a freemium model. There's something that's free, and there's something that's premium. It's the old know, like, and trust. So what I do is people, when I have like a lesson, I'll have like, here, Paula, you want some free candy, little girl? Come on in, let's have some more. what we do
I
is
like
we have the first part of the video is I try to make it interesting, and then if they want to see the rest of the video, come on over and sign up for a free membership. And then they sign up for a free membership. Maybe after a couple of months, they either feel guilty or, man, I'd like to watch the whole show. This is really a good topic. Damn it. And then they'll sign up for a membership. It's $15 for 3 months, or go with the Ultra all of the year for $49.95. And so I sell memberships.
I, on the other hand, I like AdSense myself. I don't make money from AdSense. You know, a little 40 cents here, $2 here. I think I a month I make like 20 something dollars in AdSense revenue. But where what's helping me is the community that we created, that we're all a part of, is the members and the super chats. Those you don't even know how much those people that leave super chats are your members, how amazing these people are.
That
because
so
of those, you're able, you're like, I bought 3 security cameras. I'm starting a whole new channel with the Superman thing, and doing the 3 jetpack hotspots all over this town here. I got them separated in different buildings, and who's helping fund that is the members and the super chatters. So that's how I'm generating revenue now. To get out of this truck and live full time in the RV, I from what it wasn't Michael that was saying it. Somebody today in my stream was saying it, when I was asking how do you judge your worth, for businesses, to run little advertisements here and there, or put their phone numbers or the specials of the day at the local restaurants and type of stuff. That's what I want to build on to get. So you got the AdSense for the little bit, you got the community behind you, and you got to figure out how to your worth to a community and that's where I'm at. But
yeah.
that model you're using is amazing. I just don't have those skills.
Well, you don't even have to, I do have the credit card processing, all that stuff. But a lot of people these days, they go to Patreon. They say, I'm not going to do the Google AdSense, but I'll go to patreon.com. And I did, in fact, set up a Patreon account with that other Bridge Hands channel. And, it's as easy as this, Paula. You can say, I'm not going to really put the content there, but I'm going to have different membership levels. I'm going to have maybe one for $4, $5, and $6 a month, and it's recurring. So they got to stop, or else it'll keep bringing the cash register for the subscribers every month. And then what's the content you have there? Just YouTube videos. Well, they can watch them at YouTube. Oh no, because you've got them unpublished. So you'll have some of them published, but here again, send them, go on over to my Patreon, and go over to patreon.com, vanvidatravels, sign up for membership, and you get, so many at the $4 a month, and then at $7 a month, you get these other things. You get some exclusive once a month. But yeah, a lot of people these days use Patreon or various things.
Patreon was so good. But then once you get monetized, see, because you could do members only videos and stuff like that, Patreon only videos, and only Patreons can see those. But once you become monetized, then you get that option of a join button. Once you get that join button, it's like you got these members, and then some of the members are also Patreon supporters, and they see the same members only stuff. And I felt guilty. I canceled my Patreon last month because Reverend Tommy Two-Tone, I don't know if any of you guys know him, he was one of my Patreon supporters, and he's also a member on YouTube, and he brought it to my attention. I'm getting billed twice. I'm getting, I'm paying $10 a month for Patreon, and I'm paying, $5 a month over here, and I'm seeing the same content. And I go, dude, you're right. So I canceled it.
And when I interviewed Johnny's Journeys, I asked her, so what did getting monetized mean for you? And she can claim it as a business expense. So for me, that was like, okay, well, there I go. I can do some of my traveling and claim some of it.
Your cell phone, your Wi-Fi, your computer, camera, all these cameras and everything.
See, that to me would be the benefit to do it. That helps me afford to do something that I love to do.
Let's say that you get to be where you get fame. You get like hundreds of thousands, then you get up to 1 million subscribers. Not saying you have to be at PewDiePie's level, but you're Casey Neistat level. And all of a sudden you get like all these opportunities to do special advertisements. And then all of a sudden is this AdSense, it's like, it's just secondary. I mean, you get the big money as far as you get collaboration arrangements and things. So it just depends what your model is, and whatever it is, in a couple of years, it'll probably change to something else anyway, right?
Sorry, I was gonna say it's not all about the money neither, because the
Right.
advertisement, people send me stuff all the time. I'm getting cameras,
cool.
I'm getting microphones, I'm getting and you don't have to be a big channel. I was getting this stuff way before I was monetized. So I was getting gimbals and drones, DJI. I'd fly out to Las Vegas to go to CES, and I do the networking there. Now I get drones in the mail. DJI just sends me all sorts of stuff. You just take advantage of that shit.
Connected like that. Like I would love. Like I'm not maybe Jack Reed, but more like Kodiak Energy or something like that. I haven't done my solar video. I have to edit it, but I was like, wouldn't that be cool if someone sponsored me for that, and I could show all the work I went through, and then how you just plug it into the freaking unit.
Yep.
Email. That's
so
the best.
What would I say?
Twitter, free stuff. You join Twitter and start tagging people in Twitter, companies you like. If you like a company, if you want a solar panel, look for a solar company that you like, fire off an email. Hey, I got a small YouTube channel. I live full time in a motorhome, or I'm building out my own vehicle, and I'd like to have some solar. I'd like to do a video on your product. I'd really love it, but I'm a little bit nervous about it, or something. Is there any information you could give me about your product? A lot of times they'll send a little information. Next thing you know, a week later, you got the product in the mail. They just send it to you. Hey, if you leave a decent comment on Amazon, we'll send you the stuff. Or, they do all this stuff. It's emails and Twitter. Once they know you're interested, they're going to start just getting a hold of you constantly. And then once you do that, other companies on Amazon will, this is something else you could do. You just go to Amazon, read the comments on certain products. Leave a comment, because the people that make the product that sell on Amazon, they read those comments and say, this stuff really fascinates me. I would really like to try it one time. It's just, I'm not exactly sure if it suits my
afford
need.
The investment.
Yeah. And then they'll get a hold of you, and then they'll go, hey, would you like to try it out? We'll put some money in your PayPal, send you a link. All you got to do is, once we put the money in your PayPal, here's the link for Amazon, buy our product. Because Amazon does 2-day shipping, where if they send it, it takes 2 weeks. So they'd rather put their money on your PayPal and have you purchase.
Okay.
But there are people, we've talked about the content type of channels. And so some of them, they realize is that they're good at doing reviews, like you're talking, not just on Amazon, but on their channels, they'll do reviews. And so it happens to be DJI with drones or whomever. It's like, oh, this person does reviews, and oh, look at that, boss. This person's getting like 20,000 reviews. Well, hey, send them one of the prototypes for our next year's model. See what they think about it. But here's somebody who's really great and makes a living at this. Lon TV, LON TV, and I'm a Patreon member of his because I love his videos, and whatever he gets from what he does. But Lon TV, he's very honest, and he says, what I'll do when I review something, and Nomadic Hippie, I'm not sure if you do it this way, but it's like he says, I'll take a look at what did they say the product will do, what's on their feature list. And I'll be sure that I'll check all the things that they say this product will do. And if it doesn't do some of them well, or another company does something better, he's going to be honest. Some things he will get to keep the products. Other things he has to give back to them. And some products, they're not going to send him anymore because it's a bad product and he can't say good things about it. But he doesn't sell his soul.
That's all you do.
Twitter. Guess what I'm going to be learning the rest of this long weekend? How to use Twitter. I just did Instagram.
You know what I like to do? I don't know how long you've been watching me, but I used to get celebrity guests on my channel. So like I started with Jen Vargas from Central Florida Top 5, because she's a producer, does stuff like on the Oprah Winfrey Show and stuff like that. Then I got Gavin Kelly from the Ghost Hunters the following week, and so, but I knew these people, But then, like Zach Ward, he was the little red-haired kid from Christmas Story, the mean bully. So now he does like B movies and stuff. But I started getting people like that on my channel through Twitter too. You at them and say, hey, I just and then you send them a Twitter message, and they'll usually respond. It's like I'm having Svengoli, the horror guy. Svengoli throws the chicken, does the classic Creature from Black Lagoon on Me TV. So I got him coming on, going to do some Superman statue stuff with me.
I'm learning so much. I'm hoping that other people that are like wanting to get into YouTube or any of that stuff sees it. Like, one thing that I am excited about with the interviews, it's absolutely people I would love to sit down and have a coffee with, right? And so I'm trying to get some bigger, right? Just an example, Jiu-Jitsu 2000 and I've been on Facebook together for like a year, and I watch his stuff because there's certain things that actually appeals to me. He's going to be on my channel because I asked him to on Monday. That's fantastic. He is like,
don't be afraid to ask.
Over 100,000 subscribers, and he put a shout out to the channel. When my very first interview with the Campulence Man, he did a shout out on a video for his subscribers, and tons of people came and watched. My channel that was making 40 hours a month is now 440 in 2 weeks.
The other day was when I was watching Dee's channel, and she was saying that, I don't know, she had like about 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers, and she met Bob Wells, who I guess he's got about 300, 400,000 subscribers, and he did an interview of her on the show, and all of a sudden, you know, she just went up like a hockey puck, you know, just rocketed up. And so, yeah, sometimes you just find these sweet spots where somebody has, you know, a huge audience, and they'll interview you rather than you interviewing them. Be sure to get this book, Creative Interviewing by Ken Metzler. Ken Metzler, Creative Interviewing. When I was doing my podcasting like 10, 15 years ago, this was the best book I found. So, or, you know, just look online and see who people are you think that are good interviews. I don't know if it's Larry King or Amy Gross on NPR.
I still want to keep it connected to what I'm interested in, this lifestyle that I'm trying to launch myself into.
Sure.
Right? I want to stay true to that.
Michael, you said that you pulled up Van Vita's on Social Blade. I was trying to pull up hers, and it's not. I type in Van Vita Travels, and it's not popping up.
I'll do it right now. So, Social Blade, okay.
This is almost creepy.
Van
Actually, no, I'd like to know what I'd learn.
And,
you don't know. Social Blade kind of sucks. It's not accurate. It's just you
and
just
it wouldn't be
of
at a certain date. It wouldn't be to the present.
Right?
Yeah, it shows. Yeah.
It says that she has 43 uploads, 770 subscribers, video views 21,612. Thank you very much. Country, Canada. User created December 29th, 2018. And her Social Blade, well, I won't make any ranking, but here we go. 383 subscribers for the last 30 days. Pretty good. You about doubled.
What does that make her a C+?
Monthly earnings between $1 and $19. Woo, woo.
Okay, what was that last part? $1 and $19. What?
They don't get these right, but you know, we're not going to put a retirement on that yet. Video views for the last 30 days, 4,634. That can't be right. 4 point. I see. Okay, 4,000 views for the last 33 days.
Yeah, but like when I look at mine, it's all a lot of it's wrong.
No,
but isn't a lot of that the same stuff I'd be checking my analytics?
Say that again.
What is the overall score thing you guys had mentioned?
The C+ and all that.
Well, I don't know anything about it.
Well,
what does it mean?
It kind of shows whether you're growing and those sorts of things is what it's doing.
Is it saying if I'm growing?
Yeah, it'll have a graph. Yeah, it'll have a graph.
Whose graph is that?
Don't look, it's mine.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I need my dang glasses.
But you know, and this may not be right, but it said on August 27th, it was a very good day for you. You had 1,045 views that day, so that was one of your big days.
Good job.
That was the Campulence man. That was my very first live stream interview, and he shouted me out to his subscribers before he came on.
You can buy paid subscriptions for a lot of these sites, but for the free, I mean, if you want to say, well, you know, I'd like to know, as we spoke about earlier, what is the smart money doing? And you don't necessarily view them as though it's your competition, but what are other people doing, and can I achieve that? So if you can see, you know, what is the format for some people that you consider in your peer universe, not maybe that make 10 or 100 times the views you do, but, you know, maybe something you like aspire to be and say, yeah, so, you know, like, oh, I should maybe make it like it not 2 hours. You know, maybe I should make it so it's like 5 to 15 minutes or something. So you may start to learn from what some of your peer universe is doing, and you can work smarter and not always work harder.
Check out TubeBuddy and vidIQ.
Sure. Those you can get some free, but then you pay. But you may or may not think it's worth paying for. But the free, you get something.
You guys have just been so awesome to me tonight, all three of you. It's just like, wow, I'm learning, and I'm like, I should be making notes, but then I'm like, I can watch the video again.
So here's one that now it's for a couple, but I find is kind of fascinating how they put 2 rocket packs on, and with a year or so, it's like, where did they go? They're up there with Nomadic Fanatic, and that's the RV Odd Couple. So when you talked about mentor, when they got started, they did get a mentor, and I can't remember what they said, but I think they probably paid in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. I think is what I thought I heard. You know, they paid a fair amount, but man, dollar for dollar investment. I mean, it's like I don't know. They get like, I'm looking at the most recent one, 30,000 views in 3 days, $40,000 in a week. Some of them they're hundreds of thousands of views. So, you know, within a year or two, they kind of like, what? How'd they do that?
You guys are like, people are really just glued right now to what you're saying. I need some kind of wireless router or something to pick up service better for when I try to hotspot. Because I was gone for a little bit on the road, and I was at a spot where I was only getting 1 bar on my cell phone to even make a call.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So and in the ambulance, it's harder to get reception as well. So I need to find an affordable way.
Yeah. Are you familiar with WeBoost?
Yeah. Isn't it expensive?
It is. It's about a $500 unit. Wilson Electronic Boost is the name of the company, and so yeah, I've got mine to where I have this small coax that goes up the ladder and then goes up at the top. So it's about like 10.5 feet above the ground is where I have the cell antenna, and then, you know, with the booster, it'll bring it up about 2 bars. You know, so if you've got some signal, it'll bring it up to where it's usable. And so my wife was like, you know, it has the retransmitter. They call it the Hershey bar because it looks kind of like a Hershey bar, the retransmitter. So she'll put that near her cell phone, and, you know, so I'm driving, you know, she's doing her Facebook or whatever she's doing. She's a happy camper.